Hello everyone, this is Dr. T. Ramya, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Sri Sharada College for Women, Autonomous Salem 16. The concept that we are going to discuss is the theories of motivation, a very interesting topic of any day. Motivation is generally a willingness of an individual to exert efforts towards the accomplishment of his goal or the objective. Usually, any individual will have its own inertia to accomplish something. When it is out of interest or there could be a voluntary action towards such accomplishment, it is a kind of motivation. Motivation can be self-motivation or that is generated from outside. Many theories have proposed many definitions with regard to motivation. One comprehensive such definition was given by Gray and Stark, where they define motivation as the result of the processes internal and external to an individual. That whatever happens to an individual, both internally and externally, that arouse enthusiasm and persistence to pursue a certain course of action. So such kind of external or internal process that happens within an individual that will give an enthusiasm for accomplishment of a certain course of action. So in that case, they will be making their own initiative to work towards the common task. And many theorists have been proposed by many theorists, and the common or popularly known theories was given by Maslow's, the first basic identification of need. So when we group the common theories, it could be made under three categories. That is, theories based on need, theories based on nature, and those theories based on expectancy. The theory-based needs identify the needs of the individuals, that is, persons. So Maslow's, Herzberg, and McKellen's have proposed these kind of theory-based theories, and those theories that define the nature of individuals have been proposed by McGregor, Orbex, and Argyris. And the expectancy theory, that is what the user usually an individual will expect. When you are able to identify the expectations of individuals, the motivation can be made in that sense. So these expectancy theory have been proposed by Vrooms, Porter, and Lawyer. And with regard to Maslow's need hierarchy theory, he actually gives a kind of pyramidal structure to state the level of or the quantum of need usually seen in an individual. The first basic need for an individual will be his physiological need. That is the basics of having food, water, and shelter, and all the other basic amenities needed for an individual. So once an individual is with a specific need that is not satisfied, he will have a quest or a thirst to satisfy that particular need. So once a particular need is satisfied, he'll go with the expectation of satisfying the other need, the next level of need. So this is what is the theory behind the Maslow's hierarchy need theory. So here the bottom end is with the physiological needs, where when an individual identifies that his basic needs are not satisfied, he'll put a tremendous effort to accomplish the basic needs. So once he is satisfied with the basic other physiological needs, he'll go with the safety needs. That is, he want to ensure that whether that particular physiological need will extend for a longer period of time, like it will go with the future. He'll need an assurance that such particular condition of life should exist for future, or he wants an upliftment in the style of living in the future. So that is categorized as safety needs. So in order to identify the safety needs, he'll work more for the accomplishment of such a need. And once the person is able to satisfy his safety needs, he'll go with the satisfaction of social needs. That is, he want to recognize himself in the groups. He want an identity to be created in social groups. So he mingles himself with the communities of his own interest, nature, or skills. So he likes to work in groups. So once the individual is, identified himself as alone or feeling like to be recognized or want to get an identity in the community, he goes for the satisfaction of his social needs.
So once this particular social need is being satisfied, there is a quantum of need identified that is called esteem needs. That is, the person needs a self-respect. He identifies that he needs a self-respect. So he goes in for purchase of some luxury cars where he holds a normal ordinary car previously, and he just wants to uh, uplift his own living conditions to have a kind of recognition in the society, like among the people whom he resides or exist. So such kind of esteem needs reflects in the identification of his own quest that will give him a status. That is, his status will be improved. That is purchase of things that will reflect the status symbols of an individual. So that is what is the self-esteem needs. Once the self-esteem needs are being satisfied, the person will go in for self-actualization. This is actually the culmination of the skills in an individual, the topmost level. So he wants to prove himself in his own field and achieve a great level, like achieve something great in his own respective field. So that is self actualization. So once self actualization is uh, I mean attained, the person will not have any kind of further need. But usually the theory proposed by Maslow indicate that once a person is satisfied with one kind of need, that particular need will not be a motivation further, because the person he's satisfied with that particular need will go in for the search of the other need which is unsatisfied. So this is the Maslow's theory, which actually identify the need of an individual and those things that was going to give them satisfaction. This formed the basis for all the other theories, and this concept of theory is being taken into consideration in all psychological and other streams that deal with human management. So the next hierarchy, need-based theory is proposed by Herzberg, where he identified two concepts, that is two-factor theory, popularly known, because he stated that there are concepts which will motivate an individual or give them a satisfaction, the presence of those factors. But he was very particular, like the presence of certain kind of factors which is going to give satisfaction for individuals is not only the concepts that gives them satisfaction, but there is no relationship with regard to the concept of dissatisfaction with those factors. For example, he identified certain factors as motivation factors and hygiene factors. So the presence of these motivation factors will give them a sense of satisfaction to the employees, and the absence of which will not give any kind of dissatisfaction. So Herzberg was very particular, like he wants to insist that the factors that are going to give them a satisfaction is not the same that is going to give them a kind of dissatisfaction. The opposite of satisfaction is not the level of dissatisfaction. So he stated that these motivation factors like achievement, recognition, the work of the nature of work of nature of work that is going to give them a sense of satisfaction, and the responsibility, advancement, and growth. All these motivational factors will give them a sense of satisfaction, the presence of these factors. But in their absence, the employee will not get any kind of dissatisfaction. Similarly, he identified a set of factors called hygiene factors, where he stated that the policy and supervision of the company, the interpersonal relationship of individuals with the organization, other members of the organization, the status what he holds, the security aspect of the job, and also the working conditions in the job. And also he indicated that salary is also a component with regard to hygiene factors, where the presence of these will not give satisfaction, but their absence will definitely give a sense of dissatisfaction for the employees. This is what is a theory of two factors stated by Herzberg. And with regard to the other theory of need, McKellans have given a very clear classification of people according to the need, according to their nature or tendency to accomplish their interest. Like the broad classification of their personality will give them the kind of need what they want to achieve. So in that case, only those factors according to their personality will give them the kind of satisfaction. So satisfying these needs is very important to make them motivate, that the employees will be motivated when the personality is identified and the need for that particular personality is being satisfied. So McClellan's have classified three kinds of people as achievement people, power, and affiliated people. So with regard to these achievement people, they will like to take up a personal responsibility of all tasks in an organization. So they will take up some moderately difficult task and always accept them calculated risk. So these kind of people also want to get feedback from the other employees for their performance. Always they'll be task oriented. They want to take up risk, and they also want some people to give them feedback that relates to their accomplishment. So these kind of people always want to achieve something. So when they are identified with this personality, giving them tasks, giving them additional responsibility will make them more participative in the job. Similarly, those kind of people who have an urge for power will have to be identified, because these people want to have a direct influence on people. That is, they want to direct and influence the other people in their job, and they also want to have an control over the colleagues, like other workers. They want to exercise the control over the others. So they like to be a leader, and they like the relationship of leaders and followers. When these kind of people are identified in an organization, giving them more authority to work will give them a kind of self satisfaction, and that will motivate them. And with regard to the kind of other kind of people or personality, that is affiliation personality, who like to work with people, who want to be recognized among the people. So they actually have a kind of acceptance and approval with regard to the friends and colleagues or the other workers. They want to be interested, or they seek others opinion, and also the wish from their friends and companions. They like to accept or take into consideration the feeling of others. This is what is the kind of people called affiliation people. So these identification with regard to the personality will help the company to motivate the employees. So a leader or a motivator or a human resource manager should identify the nature of the individual to help them better be taking up the interest in the organization. So this is what is a theory propounded by McClelland. And with regard to the theory of personality, or the nature of the individuals, McGregor has propounded two kind of personalities as theory X and theory Y. Theory X kind of people are those who have a negative ambition or negative thought towards the organization. They will not have any initiation. They will be indolent. They want everything to be pushed. So there will be a kind of personality in an organization where they'll have a lack of ambition. They'll not have any goal, and they'll not be interested in taking up responsibilities, and they are self-centered. They want to have their own upliftment, that is personal upliftment, not rather the organizational upliftment. And they'll be indifferent to organizational goals. And also they will not have any kind of um, initiation towards the organizational job. So every organization should make the employees realize that if there is any personal achievement made by an individual that is going to contribute towards the growth of the organization, and similarly if the organization is growing in a sense, that is going to reflect the functioning or the growth of the employees. So that should be a dual growth. Both should be interlinked. So that sense of belongingness should be given to the individuals. So but this kind of people, like theory X kind of people, will not have that sense, which should be initiated if they need to be actually motivated. But that is very difficult task. So with regard to the theory Y stated by McGregor, he states that these kind of people will not be passive. That is, they will not stay alone. They want to take up the organizational goal as their own improvement, and they try to achieve for the organizational goal, and they try to take up all responsibilities. There will be a continuous urge among the people to have an achievement, and their work should always be directed towards their behavior, or always they'll be directing their own behavior depending upon the their nature, and they want to coordinate their own interest with the organizational growth and the development. So this kind of personality will help for the development of the organization, which is what propounded by McGregor. And there is other theory stated by Ovix. Actually, Ovix wanted to identify the kind of people who actually have a mature sense of belongingness in the organization. They want to be realized that they have to be made known that the organizational goal precisely and the amount of contribution that is will be made by an individual towards the goal. There should be a relationship between the organizational goal and also the individual's needs. That is, once the individual need is being satisfied, that is going to lead to the organizational development. That acceptance or that realization should be made to the employees. So there is a four kind of postulates actually propounded by Guru Urvix. That is, there will be a strong bond between organization and employees, and the employee participation and involvement will be more in an organization, and there is no formal structure in this sense. That is, when the employees are participating more in the organization, there need not be any structure. Rigid structure of organization, and also everything should be focused on the human resource development in an organization. So this is what is a theory propounded by Urvix, which is commonly known as Izzat theory. Theory Izzat. So Izzat doesn't stand for any specific thing, which is being followed by XY theory of McGregor. And with regard to Argyris, he actually stated that any kind of organization will have both kind of people, as mature people and immature people. So first sense of identification with will be with regard to immature people, which states that that comes out of the management practices and policies that has been adopted in the organization. So in that case, the organization should make people like they have to realize that there should not be any pyramidal structure of organization flow, and there should be a humanistic approach of organizational behavior. And such a organization should also give an environment that it is very flexible for the employees to work, that they voluntarily participate in the organization. So this kind of sense will give a growth and development behavior among the employees. So the total overall formal structure of organization should be avoided among the employees to give them a sense of maturity, and the immaturity state should be reduced. So with regard to Argyris, he states that the immature people will have a sense of dependence, which should be taken to the level of independence. They should initiate their own works. And also the immature people will work in few ways. They will not take up many ways of doing things. And their interest will be very shallow, which should be made to a deep interested method when they are going for a mature stage. And they also want to be subordinates, always like to work under others in case of immature people, but the superiority will be exerted in case of a mature people. And the perspective, that is the short term aim of the people, will be identified only in case of immature people, but in case of mature people there will be a long term perspective, that is they will have long term interest in things to do. And with regard to the awareness, the awareness with regard to immature people will be lacking, but in case of mature people, the interest will be out of initiated by them immediately or instantly in case of need, and that will be taken as a self interest. Initiative will be random. And the persons of immature nature will be passive. They'll not participate in any of the activity, but with regard to the mature people, they will be very active. They like to participate. So this kind of transformation from immaturity to mature, which will be possible only if the organization does not follow a strict procedure or strict for, fundamental structure in an organization. It should allow employees to participate and make them enthusiastic to work that will lead to the growth of the organization. This is what is the theory stated by Argyros. So this Argyros theory form the basis for Vroom's expectancy theory. Actually, Vroom has given a very wonderful theory, which is actually it's given a solution to the psychological handling of people in many cases. So he wanted to prove that there is a relationship between effort and the performance of individual, which will give them a reward. Actually, every individual should be made realize that whatever effort he puts into the functioning of organization is going to give them an output, and that is going to give them an initiative to put more effort that will be adequately rewarded. So there is a relationship between effort, that effort will give them a reward for which they will make a performance. So effort is the expectancy. What the efforts that is needed for performance, that is what aspects or in what sense they have to work and in what extent they have to put their functioning. And with regard to performance, the performance should be always focused on the that should lead to the reward, that is it should be equivalent. The reward should be equal to the performance, that is called the instrumentality. And the reward, actually what value an individual poses on the reward, what extent he accepts a reward or he values the reward, is called valence. So motivation, according to Vroom, is being explained as the product of valence into expectancy into instrumentality. Valence is the value or strength one places on a particular outcome or reward, and expectancy is the efforts to performance. It relates efforts to performance. And also instrumentality is the performance is always related to reward. So there is always a relationship between these three aspects. Like when there is effort, the person or individual should believe that there will be an equivalent reward for which he will be making a effort, that is the performance will be reflected as a result of the effort made. And the last theory, as proponed by Porter and Lawyer, is an expansion of the Vroom's theory, but is an it gives some clarifications with regard to the effort concept and performance and the reward. Actually, according to Porter and Lawyer, the effort of an individual is being influenced by the abilities or the traits what he holds, and also the role perceptions what he is perceiving. So it is not like effort is going to give a complete performance. The effort is influenced by other factors like the ability of the individual and roles and perception. This clearly states that even if a person is ready to put the effort, it is influenced by the concept of his own ability and the role perceptions what he holds. And the performance is also being influenced by the concept of the effort and the reward relationship. So if a person is expecting that reward will be more for his effort, and he will give a better performance, and if something is disturbing him in identifying his own reward, that is the reward will not be adequate with regard to the effort what he makes, he will not give a better performance. The value of reward has been influenced by the individual perception with regard to the reward. And with regard to the rewards, there are two kinds of thing that has been identified as intrinsic reward and extrinsic reward. Intrinsic is what internally what an individual feels like, and extrinsic is what is influenced by the external factors. And if the thing is like a person has been influenced by both intrinsic and extrinsic, the handling is much better, that will be easy also. But with regard to intrinsic rewards, it would be out of his own initiative, that motivation will not be made easily to that kind of people. But those people who are being influenced more by extrinsic rewards can be motivated easily by extrinsic factors. So all these rewards is going to give a kind of satisfaction. So this expansion of Porters and lawyers also helped in identifying the factors that are going to affect the rewards and when performance and efforts and the kind of reward that is going to give a sense of satisfaction to the employees. So these kinds of theories help in identifying the personality of an individual and also the expectancy what they actually have with regard to the organizational functioning. So all these efforts of individuals should be focused on to achieve the organizational objective by in giving them a sense of motivation by making them more participative in the organization. So these motivational theories always help in identifying the needs of the individuals and making them better involved in the organizational goal, and they making them realize that their own personal growth is based on the growth and development of the organization, and all these have helped in managing the human resource in a better way. So with this, the theories of motivation, major and main theories of motivations have been explained. And I like to thank you all for your patience and interested listening to the concept. Thank you so much.